Hello, beautiful people. Good evening and blessings of this very beautiful evening to you. I trust you well, trust you fine, trust your life is going good. I trust your day was well spent with family and friends, or it was spent at work. Yeah, so share with us in the chats how your day was. Share with us how you're doing, share with us how you're faring, and basically what's happening around you. Okay, so my name is Demo Boysen. I'm going to be your trainer for this very interesting session, staying productive online. So this is obviously the eight over eight of the sessions you're supposed to be having. And I'm glad you've stayed through the entire period to learn, to grow, and to gain more insights for your business, for your brand. So why not share with us in the chat how much you've gained from the sessions and what you feel you've taken out from all the 8 sessions that have been we've been dishing out the past couple of weeks. So thank you so much as you do that. And as you join in, I want you to share with us in the chat how you are, where you are, who you are, what you do, right? And I'm not here alone. I'm here with Lorianne. Lorianne is already in the chat engaging with you, and then you're going to see her name against the blue spanner. Do well to say hi to Lorianne and say hi to her. Ask her how she is. Lorianne is joining us from Cameroon, so she's a Cameroonian, and she loves to get busy in the chat. So when you say hi to her, make sure you keep her busy with your questions, keep her busy with all your engagements. She'll feel happy. She'll feel happier actually if you keep her busy in the chats, right? So keep your questions coming, keep all your engagements coming. We'll be happy to converse with you. And at the back end also, we have Amarachi. Amarachi is going to be a broadcaster. She's going to make sure that everything goes on perfectly. Should my internet kick me off, somebody else would step in. So she's going to be the one behind all those controls, right? So do well to tell us how you are, how you're faring, and basically how South Africa is, right? Is this South Africa? Oh, okay. So I want to check who came first. Sile. Hi, Sile. How you doing? So we have load shedding again for 2 hours here. Okay, so the load shedding thing I understand is the network thing that goes down for a period of time. Well, I must say you're lucky to even have to know when light goes off. You don't want to hear the other part of the story. But thank you so much for joining us. And if you are kicked out, just find a way to join back. So Lorianne is in the chat. Please do well to say hi to her. I can see Mawena Gapo. Hi, Mawena. How are you doing today? Women in PR Ghana, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, yes, we don't have load shedding here. Yeah, we are not privileged to have load shedding, right? So thank you for asking. So I'm joining you from Abuja, Nigeria, and it's been a very beautiful day. We've not had the sun in a long while. So the sun came today and it stayed through. No rain came down. And we're hoping it remains like that because we've been having a truckload of rain of late, right? And luckily enough, we are not in the parts that got flooded. And but our heart goes out to the people and the houses, families that have been affected. So yeah, we're going to be speaking about staying productive online. So we are going to be having a truckload of things to talk about, how COVID impacted you and how remote work has really been the thing of the now compared to what it used to be before the COVID, right? So we'll have a short time to share on that. But meanwhile, I want you to hit on that thumbs up button. Number one, that's the first thing you should do. And then when you finish with that, check below your screen again. You're going to find the subscribe button. So hit on the subscribe button. Number two, and turn on that bell notification, right? So that if we have any other session, you can always come join us. And number three, most important, hit on that share button and then copy the link. Copy the link from that share button and copy the link from the share button and invite a friend. Invite a friend to come join us here in this very beautiful, amazing session. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the 8th of the 8 sessions you're supposed to be having. So I would love you to share with us also what you've gained from these sessions, all these 8 sessions teaching you about how you can grow your business, grow your brand, market digitally using data and analytics, and all those details, drawing your digital marketing plan, digital marketing strategy, and every other thing. Use social media and everything. Just share with us how much you've benefited from these sessions to be useful to us, and it strengthens our bonds. It will keep us going, right? So keep the chat busy. Like I said earlier, Lorian is happier when you keep her busy. So keep her busy in the chat, right? Sarah, I see you. I trust you well. Sile, thank you so much for sharing. He said, Sile said this has been so insightful. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to us as a team. And I've been putting in the work to make sure that you gain all the knowledge you need. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, so we are about to get started. So we're going to be doing this in 3 different segments. Now, in the first part, we're going to discuss the items you need to set up your remote office, which is more like um, office away from office, right? We'll talk about that shortly. And then we'll head over to the part where we'll get to explain the importance of building a productive working environment. And we're going to be providing top tips for you to get this done. And then we'll head over to the last part that will help you to manage and maintain your well-being, which is very, very key. And yes, yeah, say something in the chat as you join us. Please make sure you say something. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on that YouTube channel and then subscribe and then copy the link and invite a friend to join us. Right? So let's have this very interesting time together. And don't forget to say hi to Lorian. Ask Lorian how Cameroon is, right? And then ask Amarachi how Benin Republic is. Amarachi is in the back end. You can send some love to her and she'll receive it, obviously. Okay, so this is more like a reminder for the Google Hustle Academy bootcamp. So if you have a business, small business, big business, you want it to grow, you want it to scale from where it is, I want you to hit on that link that's going to be shared in the chat with you, g.co/Hustle Academy. So hit that link and sign up to join the next cohort. It's a great time to learn with Google for free. Google is offering all of this completely free, where you get to learn to draw your business plan, business growth plan, draw your sales plan, sales program, and then you get over to digital marketing with some very practical examples. Then you head over to the part where you get to learn how to pitch, and then you get to learn how to get source for finances for your business, for your brand, and then you get matched with a mentor to walk you through any of those parts that you didn't have clarity on. So, like I said, I always say, I wouldn't know how better, how more generous a brand could be. Google is offering all of this for free, just like the way they offer you all those truckload of tools for free to use. They just want your business to grow. They want your business to improve. All right, so I hope you have your writing material. I hope you could jot down some things I'll be sharing here. And then I hope you also will be asking us questions. So I will be asking you questions, obviously, and I expect you to answer my questions and keep Lorian busy, right? So, and just ask me yours too. Whether it's from this session or it's from the previous session or any of the sessions, whatever you did not understand and you feel like asking it now, please go ahead. Please feel free. That is why we are here. We'll be happy to assist. We'll be happy to share the much information we have. All right, so I'm going to begin the questions before you start asking me your own. Okay, so how has COVID impacted your role? How has it been? COVID came in 2020 and it was a really rough time. It was quite a time for everybody, not just for the government. It was quite a time for business owners. It was quite a time for families. It was a crazy time. Everybody was locked in. No business was coming. Not much was being done generally. That's people pulled through. A lot of businesses folded up. A lot of brands folded up. A lot of people got laid off, and everything. So I wanted to share with us how COVID has impacted your business. Share with us in the chat how it has been. Has it been rosy? And funnily enough, some brands were even making more money at that period. Now you can take example from the Jeff Bezos's Amazon. Amazon made more billions during during the COVID, during the lockdown, because people started shopping online. The truckload of people that used to shop online tripled over that very short space of time. So it could have been in your favor, or it could have been not in your favor based on the kind of business you do. So I wanted to share with us in the chat how COVID impacted your business, impacted your role, what it brought to you, the change it brought to you. For a lot of us, we were always working physically on site. A lot of us are now working online, fully remote, right? Is one of the things we'll be discussing this evening. So share with us in the chats. I'm just going to look through to see who is saying something. And please don't forget to say hi to Lorian. Like I said again, like I'm going to be saying again, Lorian feels happier when you keep her engaged in the chat. All right, so that is when I started my business, Sile. Thank you so much for sharing that, August. Yeah, so that looks like a positive one. You had only one client. Interesting. But I'm sure the COVID that helped you to start the business has still kept you in the business, because by now I'm sure you should be having a lot of clients. Some people had breakthroughs, big breakthroughs during that period. Some people flew from top to the bottom. You know, a lot of platforms, a lot of businesses laid off, a lot of brands laid off laid off people. People will return to square zero, technically speaking. The people were starting life afresh. It was even worse for some families that feed on their daily profits, right? So it was quite terrible and rough for a lot of families out there. So I want to know how it affected you. So I wanted to share with us how it affected you. So only Sile has said something, and we are a lot here. So I wanted to say something in the chat, and we'll be happy to engage with you. Oh, Flora, thank you so much, Flora. Flora said, "Hello, Lorian and Amarachi. I hope you all are fine. And thanks for helping with the smooth flow of the series. That means a lot to us, Flora. Thank you so much. Your words are very kind and very soft. I will love it. Thank you so much, Flora, for saying that and letting us know that we are trying our little best to get you make that difference. All right. So share with us in the chat how COVID has impacted your role, how COVID has impacted your business, what you've been doing ever since then, and what you've been planning to do ever since then. Actually, so Sile told us he started a business in 2020, but he had only one client. Interesting. So I'm hoping you have a lot of clients now, Sile. Yeah. Rado, thanks for the impactful session. These impactful sessions. Thank you so much, Era. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means so much. Means so much to us, right? So let's keep the feedbacks coming, and let's keep the questions. Let's keep the replies to the questions coming as well. Okay. So while waiting for you to do that, I'm just going to go over to the presentation proper. Let's see how you can set up your office, your remote office. So what is remote working? So it's just a working style that allows people to work outside of their traditional office environments. So you don't need to necessarily go to a particular place to work. So it's just a different way of working. We are still working. I work from home. So I'm a remote worker, call it so. But I don't necessarily need to be in the house. There are different ways of working remotely. As long as you're not going to a physical office where the work is done, that means you automatically have a remote job to do. So you have the ability to work from outside of a particular corporate office. And that has been skyrocketed ever since the COVID came. So instead of doing the daily travel from, like if you are living in a city like Lagos, trust me, you don't want to work, you don't want to live in the mainland and work in the island in Lagos if you are living in Lagos, because that would mean you waking up as early as 4 a.m. and hitting the road. At least you should be in the bus latest 5:30, because if you're not in the bus by 5:30, trust me, you can't reach the office by 8:39, because you have to sit in that traffic for the whole morning. Yeah, it happens. I don't know how they do it. It's a crazy place to stay in, right? So you avoid all those protocols, all those headache of doing all of that, commuting, the risk, and everything. So it gives you that flexibility to be able to design your day, plan your activities, and have a life too, because you're working from your comfort. All right. So where can people actually work remotely? So you can work remotely from your home, like myself, Lorian too. works from her home sometimes. Sometimes she works in a co-working space. Sometimes she goes to a coffee shop, like she tells us she goes to a coffee shop. So it can be you going to a coffee shop to go sit down, get your work done. Or some people may prefer to go to the libraries. The library is always quiet, and sometimes you can always have free internet in the libraries, right? So you get to have more ease with what you're doing. So these are just a few options of the places you can stay to work remotely, but these are the major ones that mostly people use, right? Okay. So what do you need? What do you think you need to work remotely? So share with us in the chats what you think to work remotely. All right. So I can see Lauren is doing a great job. Thank you so much, everybody. So let me see. Kinsha Manu. It was a bit difficult at the lockdown, but sales boomed because everyone became conscious of their skin needs. So my skincare products gained popularity. Exactly what I was saying. So some people had it as an advantage, right? Some brands did not have it as an advantage. Thank you so much for sharing, Kinsha. That means a lot to us here. And Nosi Afua, thank you for joining us from Ghana. I hope Ghana is fine. Ghana is beautiful. Which part of Ghana are you joining us from? Is it Accra? It's only Accra, I know. Please tell me which part you are, right? And yes, Sile, thank you for telling us you have a lot of clients now. All right, and um, I work at home. Sile, okay, thank you so much for sharing once again. So Flora said I'm a makeup artist and the lockdown affected me greatly. Yeah, that is obvious because people didn't go for occasions and all of that. So very few people were booking for private events that really happened. I started to creating content and making videos to engage my audience. Wow, that was a very smart move, Flora. That was super smart move to make. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, so Celia said sometimes I go to a coffee shop, Wi-Fi, good laptop, internet connectivity. Yes, and those are the things you need for remote working. Yes, Wi-Fi is very important. Your internet, a good laptop, very very important because you may not even be able to work without a good laptop, right? And Ira Joe from joining from East Legon from Ghana. Thank you so much for sharing. And Celia said workspace, you need a stable internet, Kinsha. Thank you. Discipline. Very, very key. Discipline. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for keeping us busy, keeping Lorian busy. I can imagine her smiling from where she is now. All right, Fanny. Thank you so much for that beautiful emoji you just shared with us. Okay. And so don't forget to hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button, right? Don't forget to do that before you jump, before you just continue listening to us. Okay. So let's look at what you need to work remotely. You need a dedicated workspace, just like we've explained earlier, a space separate from home. It definitely needs to be within your house, but not just somewhere secluded, somewhere you've just kept a different space. This is for work. So you call this place a workspace so that it doesn't interfere with every other space in the house. You need to respect that space because just because you're working from home does not mean that you don't have an office in your house. You need to have an office, a specific room, a specific area within the house. Even if you are living in a self-con or a one-room apartment, you need to have that particular space that you've dedicated for work, right? And your devices that will help you. You know, you need your phone, you need your tablets, you need your laptop, very, very important. And more importantly, you need a good internet, a stable internet, because you may not be able to do a lot if you don't have it. You cannot even do anything for remote work. Literally, you may not be able to do anything, technically speaking, because if you are working with a team, you need to collaborate, and you can't collaborate without the internet. So you need to rely on the internet to do a truckload of things, to have calls like this, to have calls on your WhatsApp, to have a group call, to jump on Zoom, jump on Google Meet, and all this place, right? Um, people people can have troubles, like Sile said, they have load shedding based on the structure it is in South Africa. They are privileged to know when lights will go off. Some places are not that privileged. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to mention any country, but just know that some countries they are not that privileged to know when light is going off, right? So at least you can know when light is going off, so you can plan around that. So the load shedding, I discovered that if it happens, it's going to kick the internet off, possibly because the radios of the service providers are connected to the power source. So when there's load shedding, the radios go off. So it automatically disconnects everybody from the internet. Okay, that is what I understood. I don't know how, I don't know what actually is possible though. So the internet is very key. The devices are very key, and having that dedicated space within your house is very key as well. So you need to create your own workspace. So what do you do when you are trying to create your own workspace? You need to avoid the bed and avoid that couch. That bed and that couch can put you in so much trouble because just one, I want to sit down, relax a little bit. It's soft, you know. So it's going to give you that comfort. And when it gives you that comfort and you want to relax, temptation may come in. So you need to set up a table, set up a chair, and make sure you have a good chair, and make sure that space is comfortable for you. You should be able to twist around, stretch if you want, fly to the moon in a matter of seconds and come back within that short space. It needs to be comfortable, right? And then you need to consider your posture. Mostly recommended, you should have an ergonomic seat, right? So that at the end of the day, you're not going down with back pain. Trust me, you don't want to go down with back pain. It's a terrible experience. Back pain and waist pain because of too much sitting down, and extra because of you have a poor sitting habits or a poor sit. You have a poor sitting habit or a poor sit. You may be going down with some very difficult situations that you don't want to put yourself under. So equipment are very, very important. So the physical equipment you might need obviously are the phones, the computer, your notebooks, your notepads, jotters, just something that you can always put down some thoughts, put down some ideas, so that you don't forget. If you are using a MacBook, you can always have that notes. If you are using a Samsung device, there is note also. If you are using an Android device, there is note also where you could jot. Your phones are important. Some people use their phones to route to the laptop or to the computer, whether it's a laptop or a desktop, right? And getting a stable power source is very key because your laptop power is limited, your phone power, your phone battery power is limited. So you need to possibly, if you are in an area that always have load shedding, or if you're an area that there is not always a good source of power supply, you need to get a generator, right? And a generator that is powered with petrol so that you can be running your stuff, or you can try a solar powered device, or you can buy some power pack for your system, and a power bank for your phone, right? All of those could make your life easy. Or you can try the solar generating sets that is happening now. That is quite expensive, but it has made work quite easy for. It's a lot of money, but it's an investment because when you have it, you've gotten it. And if you are in a terrible environment, like some countries where they have a lot of petrol, but they have poor supply, so you see that your petrol engine may not be able to rescue you sometimes. So having a backup is very, very key. Like having another source, maybe a solar inverter for your devices, or any of those stuff that would work being away from making you completely dependent on petrol engines. And then on top of the solar, still have another backup somewhere. Have your power bank somewhere so that you charge it and you keep it, so that you don't completely go off course from what is happening around the world. So stable power is very, very key. And then finding sufficient internet is very, very key. So you need to choose the right ISP. Like over here in Nigeria, we have the likes of MTN, Airtel, Etisalat, those are the major ones, and Glow are the major ones. And sometimes they select based on the location, some of those networks don't really work, right? So you need to choose what works for your area. Like in my area, MTN is very strong, Glow second, Airtel and Etisalat is not very strong here, but if you step out a little bit, you're going to have all of them very strong, right? So you need to choose what works. Or if those ones, the popular ones don't work, you can choose a private internet service provider that will just come plant a radio around you so that they can supply you internet straight to a router in your home. And then you have maybe unlimited supply, and then you'll be subscribing every month, right? So you need to consider a substitute, an alternative. You need to have a backup. Personally, I use 3 different sources as I'm on a call like this. So if one of my internet kicks me off, another one automatically takes over. right? And because I don't want to go off course if I'm training in a live session like this. So there is one, there is two, there is three different sources, and that can at least keep me in touch. So you need to have a substitute, an alternative, and find the right router. If your phone is not a strong one, you need to find a strong router, maybe a Mi-Fi, maybe a bigger router that has a lot of strength. And obviously, routers are always charged, so you may need to have that's where the power bank still comes in, and a power pack as well, depending on the kind of router you're using. And then you plug it to a Wi-Fi, and then test and compare the internet speeds. Sometimes you test my internet speed, and you have like about the last time I checked it was 40 something for my uploads, 40 something Mbps for my uploads, and I had about 120 something for my downloads, right? So that sometimes you check and it's way less than that, to show you that all these things fluctuate. So test the one that works for that particular time, so that you know the one that will give you more strength. If you're having a video call like this, then you may need to know, then you need to understand that you need a stronger internet to get things done properly. All right. Okay. So what are the challenges of working remotely? I want you to share with me what you know, what you feel are the challenges of working remotely. I can see Lorian is very happy. Thank you so much, guys. I love the way the chat is bubbling. Right? And okay, I can see Kinsha wants to welcome Lorian in Kumasi as well. I wish you can just carry me along. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Narcy, Sile, Kinsha, and everybody, please bear with me if I miss your name. I'm going to find it some other time. Okay, Narcy is in Accra, Adenta. Okay, nice to meet you, Narcy. It's a place I hope to visit someday in the nearest future. All right. So, what are the challenges you feel exist from working remotely? What do you think can arise? Somebody mentioned discipline earlier on, right? So, do you think discipline is something that should be considered when you're working remotely? Or do you think something could go bad if somebody is not disciplined, if a remote worker is not disciplined? So, share with us a couple of things you feel could be, um, should I call it the side effects, challenges, right? To working remotely. Yes, distraction is key. So you need to be focused. Thank you so much, Flora, for sharing that. Distraction is imminent because you have a lot of comforts. You have the television right there. You have your phone. You can easily jump on Instagram, jump on any way to get, maybe watch a 2 minute video. You can jump on YouTube to get the 3 minutes video. Before you know it, you spend the whole day in that place. So you need to stay away from distraction. You need to be disciplined. Stay away from distraction. All right. So again, and somebody else should say something while I just continue with the flow. All right. So challenges of working remotely would basically include loneliness and lack of social interaction. Because what what happens is if you are living alone, like myself, I know Lauren is living alone as well. And the same thing with Amarachi. Amarachi is in Benin Republic. Lauren is in Cameroon. I'm here in Abuja. All of us are working remotely. We are on this call all together, doing the same thing. But if you are staying alone, loneliness is imminent, right? Because you are not, yeah. Sometimes you get really sunk into the work, and you even forget the fact that you still have a life to live. So loneliness is very imminent as a remote worker, and then you need to have self-discipline so that you can avoid some distractions because you need to bring in your self-control. You need to tell yourself I must do this thing today and just go out and get it done. Sit down there and get it done because you need that discipline. Without that discipline, you mess things up, right? And then you don't have a lot of employee benefits. For instance, our head office is in Lagos. If everybody in Lagos are being fed every day, we don't have that benefit. I'm here in Abuja, Lorian is there in Cameroon, Amarachi is there in Benin. We don't have the employee benefits of eating every day when we work remotely. And then you don't have, it's hard to switch off. Yes, we work technically around the clock. Sometimes you discover that they're even working into the midnight. Whereas on a normal day, if you are working in an office on site, when work ends, it ends. You leave the system there, you come back home. When the week finishes, when the day breaks, you go back and continue from where you stopped. Same thing with the weekends. But working from home, you work around the clock technically, right? And then there's the missing out, the fear of missing out. You work remotely, it could make you feel left out occasionally because you could miss out on important announcements, important meetings in the office, important events that you most likely be the last person to be to get to hear about, right? So, but with tools like the likes of Slack, can always keep your team up to date with what is happening around your space. And just as there are challenges to working remotely, there are also benefits to working remotely. So share with us in the chat and what you feel are the benefits of working remotely. So I'm just going to go ahead. A couple of benefits of working remotely will be you have that flexibility. You know, sometimes there are things that just need to be done from being at home, but you need to step out and get the work done. But if you are working remotely, you can get your work done. You can still have a life in the house, right? If you're a family person, you have time for your children. You have time to do your laundries. You have time to do your cleaning. You may not have all that time. Some people actually clean their houses on weekends. Luckily, if they don't work on Saturdays too, so they have to only have Sunday for themselves. Again, you are living in a city like Lagos where you are leaving by 4 a.m. and coming back by 10 p.m. What kind of a life is that? 10 p.m. sometimes you sit, it's not like you didn't leave the office early. It's just that you're going to sit in the traffic maybe between 6 p.m. to maybe 9, 10 a.m., 9, 10 p.m. before you get to your house. So when you get to your house, you're already exhausted. So all you need to do is maybe eat, sleep, sleep for a few hours, wake up by 4, and the cycle continues. So you don't want to be having all of that. You don't have all those commuting issues like what I just explained now. There's no time to travel. There's no time to travel from the office to, just have your office in the house or somewhere close to your house. You can just go get your work done. You have time with your family, and then you have some lesser distractions because you need, as far as you're working remotely, you need to bring your willpower, right? So that the distractions don't come in. You can always turn on that television, can always stop watching for that particular moment. You find yourself getting more done with work remotely before you even think of all those things, and then your morale is high, yeah. And then we get necessarily we get less stress. We have higher morale because we tend to do more because we feel we are in a natural place, we are in a habitat. You feel a little bit more relaxed than the thought of even stepping out would have come in. Thought of stepping out to go to work, fighting traffic, getting to work and dealing with all your colleagues and all of that, getting the work done and coming back. So the thought of you just have your space, have your time, getting things done makes you feel more relaxed, and that raises your morale. Another part of the benefit will be also reduces overhead costs. Yeah, the running cost, the transportation cost is cut down for people that have offices. If you're in big cities like Abuja, Lagos, you understand that paying rent is very, very, very expensive, right? So you can tell all your workers to work remotely, and then you save money from paying an office space, right? And then people have greater productivity because the morale is high. So people tend to work more. People tend to, like I said, overworking is a problem. So you tend to work more, right? So the productivity gets to increase, and then you have access to wider pool of talents. Before now, people can only hire people that are living in their locations, so that you can always come to work every day. But after COVID came and the remote work came in fully, people can work from anywhere. You can have a company you're working for in the UK, US, all at the same time, as long as their operation hours don't clash with each other, and you're always available to do the work, then you're good and fine, right? And then you have improved employee retention. People tend to stay more because they have that liberty to be able to work from anywhere. So they just give in their skills without being physically available. They give their intellectual property without being physically available. So I'm going to be taking the first pause to answer to your questions. Yes, so I see all of you that are doing so great in the chat. Yes, Flora, you save a lot of transportation bills because you work remotely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, yeah, okay, so the chat has been very, very busy. Yes, so you don't know how to separate work from home. Yes, Sile, that's very correct. Sometimes you overwork and you don't know how to split it. Lydia, thank you so much. Yes, okay, you can lose a first time customer. Okay, so I don't really know where that came from, but boredom is very imminent if you are working remotely, right? And you need to find something to always keep you busy and get distracted once in a while, and so that you don't lose your mind. and you can end up cooking or cleaning dishes during work hours. Yes, you can end up doing that, but at the same time, you still have more time to do your work, right? You are not traveling to come and do cleaning and run back to the office, right? So Celia also said he miss being in the office. Yeah, some of us miss it too, but we find it that it's easier to actually work from home. Okay, thank you so much, Celia. You've been super, 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 super engaging, and then you always eat. Yes, people that work from home, I'm not sure why, but I know that some of us used to overgrow our sizes. Yes, you don't have to dress up. Again, yes, you don't have to dress up. You can always wear your panties and do your thing. Nobody cares as long as nobody's seeing your nakedness. Yeah, Flora, you save your transport and it helps to comfortably combine family and professional roles without asking for permission. Yes, you're not at the mercy of your bosses. I'm always asking for permission, and then they'll be giving you a tough time and rejecting some of your permission. Thank you so much, Nasi, for pointing that out. You get to build, you don't get to build relationships, yes, because of the loneliness. Most of the relationship you are going to be having is going to be online, unfortunately, right? And then once in a while, if the person is not in your city, that means you may not have the opportunity to meet the person. So luckily, if the person is in the same city with you, then you can have the opportunity to meet the person, right? Thank you so much, everybody, for all the engagements. So if you have questions, I'm here, right? And then I mentioned if you have questions from previous sessions or this particular one, please ask, right? So let me just go over to the second part, build a productive work environment. So why your work environment is important is because you need to have a comfortable place that makes you feel comfortable working. So what do? You designate an area, give that place, dedicate that place for that work. Don't merge it with some other thing. Just know that okay, this is my office. To make the office look like an office. Don't mix things up, right? And find the right chair, like I mentioned earlier. That chair is very, very important. And preferably recommend, if I can recommend, buy an ergonomic seat because an ergonomic seat will save your back and will save your waist. So find the right chair and find a good filing system to organize yourself, organize your life. An ordinary person, an average person is very scattered, very disorganized, right? So what you need to do is get a filing system, get a file, organize your life, organize your system. Even if you are just working with a laptop like this, right? Create different folders for different things so that you don't mix things up. You could have some other things you are doing. If you are working different roles, you could mix things from this role to this other role. So have different folders for different things so that yeah, you stay organized. It's very, very key. And so I don't carry reports for company A to reports for company B. All right. Okay. So statistic has it that 40%, 40%, there is a 40% decrease in productivity due to workplace distraction and 27% increase in errors, distractions. So how can you minimize distractions? So steps you need to take to minimize distractions. Remember somebody said you need to be disciplined. You need to be very, very disciplined if you are working remotely. And it's something you must actually stress to yourself, tell yourself every morning that you need to complete the task you've set for that day. Be disciplined so that you don't at the end of the day having all the comfort, you don't still get the work done. So you need to let others know your operation hours. Let people, let family know, let your neighbors know, let your friends know. Hmm? Sometimes if I'm having a session like this, I'll need to put on my door. When you come, don't knock. Don't knock. Just come back in 1 hour. So when I'm through with the session, I'll need to pull it down so that somebody can just come in and maybe knock or something. So you need to let people know your operation so that they don't come in to disturb you. If I'm having a live call like this, I don't want anybody to distract me, right? So I'll make sure I let everybody that's supposed to know, supposed to be aware. I need to put my phone in silence too. In fact, sometimes I put it on flight mode. Sometimes I put it on do not disturb so that even if a call comes in, it doesn't interrupt the internet, right? So, and then you do one thing at a time, finish one thing, break down your tasks, break down the processes, and do it in bits so that you don't end up overwhelming yourself with everything. So avoid the TV and all the household distractions. Avoid it too. I tell you, avoid it. If you don't avoid that TV, you end up not doing anything for the entire day. I can bet you, right? So sometimes you want to watch one line of YouTube or one line of Instagram. Discover you spend the whole day, right? So avoid those things that will distract you. Put all your pets away. Put all your cats, your dogs. I'm not I'm not a pets kind of guy, right? So you don't want your dog backing into your life call. You don't want your cat meowing into your life call like this, right? So you keep them away so that you can get your work done properly and then take regular breaks. You don't work around the clock. I know you overwork, yes, but don't work around the clock. Once in a while, take a break. Look at the moon, stretch, take a walk, jog, something. You know, use 5 minutes and read a book. Travel to space within 5 minutes and come back. Just do something. Just distract yourself for 5 minutes and then come back. Just get your mental health in order because it's very, very key. All right. So how can you improve productivity within the team? Now, a couple of tools that I recommend for project management. So remote workers need to be able to plan. You need to be able to collaborate. You need to be able to set your task and get them done. You also need to track the flow of work from start to finish. So establishing logistics for team communication is very, very key. Promote visibility and transparency at all the levels of work. So track the quality of the work, track the status of the work at every time, identify all the bottlenecks, identify all the blockers that may come in between for you not getting the work done. So a couple of tools you could make use of. You can have the Trello, the Asana, the Basecamp, and all those other tools that can help you to keep track of everything that is happening within the team. Okay, next up is communication. So we also have it that 70% of work mistakes are due to poor communication. 70% of work mistakes are due to poor communication. So communication plays a very vital role in our daily life. So you need to communicate. It's good that you communicate. So whether you are an effective communicator or not, it's essential that for people to understand what you're communicating, people to understand what you're saying. Sometimes it's not about the big English. It's about being able to send the right message out in a very simple way. Just communicate it well. So it will help you to have the whole team in touch together and everybody gets their work done properly and obviously in good time. So let's check a couple of communication tools. So we have it that strong communication is an integral part of a business's success. So it's important that you make use of the email for formal communications. You can always check and jump on your email. If you have an official email, you need to be checking it frequently. You don't check it once in a day. You should be checking it maybe within the hour, maybe every other hour, maybe every other 2 hours, maybe every other 3 hours. And make sure you keep an eye on your official email so that you don't lose track on official communications. And then you have instant messaging platforms for fast communications, of the likes of Google Hangouts and all those other platforms, and collaboration tools for project work. We have Slack as one of them. So it's important you get all those tools ready and at hand so they can get work done effectively and properly. Okay, so let's see a couple of rules you need to set to communicate effectively. So in order for communication to be effective, you need to set rules to communicate clearly. Communicate, like I mentioned earlier, it's not about big English. It's about being able to send the right information out per time. So I think about the type of message and the context of the message that you're sending out also. And then respond promptly to the communications if somebody else is communicating within the team. And then set and role model the guidelines. You can test run some things, right? So this is who is speaking to who per time, right? And who is superior, who is sending instructions out. So you just test run some things and make sure that there are proper guidelines to how communication actually flows. Okay. Then we have the video meetings and calls, which are very important also because you get to also connect your teams that are working remotely. You can always jump on a Google Meet call or maybe a WhatsApp group call or maybe Microsoft Teams, or maybe you can jump on Zoom or on Skype just to bring the team together, because it helps to not just improve the level of communication, it helps to also boost collaboration within the team. You guys check up on yourself, check up on your family, check up on what you're doing, how the day was, just stay in touch with everybody. So let's look at a couple of these tools. Now we're speaking about Google Meet. So Google Meet is a Google product just under the G Suite, the Google Workspace as it is called now. Automatically synchronizes you can add the Google Meet link to your calendar meetings, right? What I mean there is, if I want to have a meeting with you and I schedule it on your calendar, I can add the Google Meet automatically. It's a Google product, so it adds itself automatically so that you can just click it and you join that meeting. And then this thing is built with high-powered security, and it can always take. I think the free one can take up to 100 people. Can take up to 100 people. And Google Meet was not free before now. It was completely not free before the COVID came. So when COVID came, Google found out that Zoom was catching a lot of traction because a lot of meetings were happening on Zoom. So that's when Google now opened it up for every other person to make use of. So you can get to share screens, can get to communicate, everybody can get to talk, and it's very light. I prefer Google Meet to every other one, right? And so it makes video conferencing very easy and very seamless. Okay, now let's look at Zoom. This is the one everybody knew first. So with Zoom, you can always request a demo. You can even download it for free. And then I didn't mention that the Google Meet has um, an app version. It's not just stuck to the web. It has an app version too that you can download. You can even download it on your iOS device. Same thing with your Android. So the same thing happens with the Zoom. You can download it on your Mac, can download it on your um, Windows, can download it on your Android, on your iOS, on your iPhones, and all this. So you can use Zoom to host or join a meeting. And Zoom can take up to 100 people. The free Zoom can take up to 100 people, and then you can get to also record. You can record with Zoom for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, to time yourself out, right? If you want to have more numbers, then just go ahead and pay for the advanced, for the premium version, and then you can have more features to be able to get things done with Zoom. So Zoom was a tool that was used during COVID most, right? Before other brands came up to rescue us. Other brands came up to rescue us. So Zoom was the one that was there. They just fine-tuned their features rather. They added the hand raising thing, they added the emojis that were not there previous to COVID, right? Just those little things that made it more robust and made it a very preferable conferencing tool. Okay, so Microsoft Teams is a Microsoft product, so you get to create teams and channels to organize your departments. You can utilize the Teams for video chats, and it helps to boost communication. You can share documents and you can collaborate with ease. You can use the ads function to tag and notify team members, and then the Microsoft Teams is included in the Microsoft 365 package. It's not free. It's just like what happened with the Meet, Google Meets before the COVID. Meet was not free. Meet was also built into the G Suite, or they're now called Google Workspace or Google for Education suites. So you need to have a premium account to be able to access the Meet. So now anybody can use Meet now. So the Microsoft Teams, the Microsoft 365 package are the tools of Microsoft that is the set that are not free. We have the Microsoft Word, Excel, and the rest of them. All those ones are free, right? But this particular package that actually holds the Microsoft Teams is not free. You subscribe for it, and you need to have a domain name and all those little stuff to be able to set it up. Yeah, so that's it for Teams. And now to Skype. Skype is the one we knew back then. It's still a Microsoft product as well. And then you have this immersive full video view, and then you can chat. You can send chat invites to people, to anyone, and then you can always blur your background. So Skype has a lot of beautiful features. It can take up to 50 people available for a call. It's more of a little team kind of thing, and it does a lot, right? So you can check out how the Skype works as well. Skype has lost a little popularity ever since COVID came. It was a in thing back then, right? You need to, can you Skype me? Can you Skype me? All of that. So I think after COVID came, they lost a little traction. A lot more concentration has been put on Zoom, has been put on the Teams, Google Meet, and Zoom, and all those other tools. So Skype has lost traction a little bit. It's still a Microsoft tool as well. So let's see how you can run effective meetings. So a couple of steps to set up and run effective meeting. You need to set your agenda straight. You need to help people to know how lengthy the conversation is going to be, and then you need to consider your tone of voice. If working remotely, people can see your body language, as easy as your voice. So all they have to go by, right? You need to people need to not just view your body; they need to be able to tell what you're saying. You need to tell your body language by what you're saying. So your tone will be very, very important and very, very necessary to tweak it so that it suits the kind of audience you are speaking to, whether it's a presentation call like this or it's a team call, right? You need to have a good tone so that people will feel comfortable around you. And then always encourage people to use their cameras most times so that you can always see whose hair looks tattered, who doesn't have a makeup or something like that, right? So and then you can see that they are the real people that are present, are physically involved in the meeting. Yeah, and then be timely also. So don't leave people waiting on the call for you. If you are the host, make sure you are available there in good time. Like what Impact had does, you've not come to our call before without seeing us right in time, right? At least I can boast of that. So you need to be timely, you need to be punctual, and everybody needs to be on time as well. So don't keep people waiting on a call because it's a video call. Treat it as a professional thing too. Okay, so a couple of video conferencing etiquettes. So steps you should take to run effective meeting. You need to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare what you want to go and say. Prepare what you want to go and do. Get people ready. Let people be aware that you are ready to go live. Let everybody know, right, that you didn't just wake up and just jump on a call. And then you need to dress appropriately, right? So like Sile said, you can walk naked. Yes, you can walk naked. Please don't walk naked with the camera on, right? And they always try to make sure that you're dressed, at least you're covered to some extent, right? If like I'm sitting here, you can't see if I'm walking naked, right? Because the camera is only facing me from here up, right? Yeah, but all the same, you still need to dress, cover yourself so that if mistakenly you just get up and your camera is still on, you won't air your views out in the public, right? You never can say where that particular video will get to. So when you are jumping on video calls like this, you need to dress properly. At least don't walk naked, please. And your lighting is very key too. Like you can see my face properly, right? If power goes off now, you see the difference between now and when my backup lights is string in front of me. So you need to have proper lighting so people can see your face clearly, and then consider your background. Your background mostly white works. White works most times. So, but if you don't have white, just make sure that your background is not too noisy, too busy. Don't have your television on so that somebody on the call, especially if you're the one presenting, will not get distracted. And then consider your audio as well. It's important that you consider your audio. People should be able to hear you. If you don't have, your system does not have a good audio, maybe get a good earpiece or maybe get a good microphone just to make things easy for you and everybody that you're communicating with. Okay, so top tips for collaborating effectively. So you need to equip yourself, equip your team with the right tools, give them the laptop, then give them phones if they need to. Make project management easier and use the right tools, make document sharing accessible, easy and accessible, right? You need to make it easy for the entire team and then encourage collaboration within various departments, right? And then prioritize company culture. You don't, because you're working offline, because you're working remotely, you don't need to break rules. There's a culture in every organization, so you don't need to make it look like because you're not physically available, you've forgotten the culture. No, you need to have the culture still in place. Okay, so final top tips for productivity would be always over communicate. It's important you rather over communicate than under communicate with the team, right? Make sure everybody is in the loop of what you want to do, what you want to do next, and be very, very disciplined. It's not a vacation, it's not a paid leave. Remote work is not a paid leave, so you need to be disciplined. Get your job done. Always have your tools again, always have your tools ready for work. Make sure you have the tools you need to work remotely, the system, the working space, the good seat, the camera, a microphone, or whatever it is, a very good internet and a good power source, right? So find the booster and use what gets you energized and ready to work when you need it. What is that thing that can get you energized? Don't tell me social media, please. Don't tell me television. It's what gets you energized to work. No, don't use those ones. Those ones are going to eat a lot of your time, right? So find a booster, find something that makes you excited. Don't tell me alcohol too, because some people alcohol is what is going to boost it. Don't tell me alcohol will work for you. No, don't mention those ones. right? Find something that can get you excited. It should be that you love your job, right? So you're happy to do your job at when you want to do it. So there's something about your job that should make you happy to always jump on it and get things done. All right. So I'm gonna be taking the second pause for the question, but I'm not going to pause right now. I'm just going to go through the last part. Then when I'm done, I'm going to come to the chats and look through all your comments or your questions. And thank you so much for keeping Lorian busy. I can see her grinning from side to side. And don't forget to don't forget to fill the attendance form as it's been shared, and come back here and join us as we do this last part together. All right, let's see how you can manage and maintain your well-being. Why is it important to manage your well-being? Your mental health is important. Very key. In fact, if your mental health is not stable enough, you may be losing track of everything you're doing. So you need to have a stable mental health to be able to get things done. It is important to manage your well-being. So share with us in the chat why you think it's important to manage your well-being. So it's important to manage your well-being because it impacts your overall health generally. If you are depressed, it will automatically affect your health. You may lose sight of what you're doing, you may lose appetite, you may lose everything, right? And then if your mental health, your well-being is in check, it will lead to great productivity. You'll be able to you get motivated because you get more focused. You get to do your work much better and much quickly, and then it increases your resilience. You can overcome obstacles head on. You don't crumble in the face of challenges. You don't crumble in the face of setbacks because your mental well-being is under check, and it boosts your morale, and your level of happiness is also high. You are supported. You feel happy to do what you're doing, right? That is why your mental health, your well-being should be under check and really, really on point. Okay, so what do you think you can do to manage your well-being? Right? What do you think you can do? Why is it important? And what do you think you can do to manage your well-being? Now, a couple of tips. Now, avoid overworking. Take regular breaks, like I mentioned earlier. Take break. Set those reminders that will make you to take those breaks. Take a break, take a walk, take a stroll, jog, do something. You know, um, Jump into your kitchen and fry a pie, something. Travel to space and come back within 5 minutes. Just take a break and just don't lose focus of the work, but just taking a break from the screen. And too much of the screen can always give you a lot of headache. Screen in front of the light every time can give you a lot of headache. So you need to just stay away from it a couple of times. So be clear with your team when you're leaving. Don't just leave without informing the team so that they don't drop you messages without you getting to see them, right? So you communicate with your team also when you're leaving. So turn off your notifications when you're on break so that those messages don't distract you. Just know that you're giving yourself a little break. Then you need to also schedule in activity like taking a walk, like I mentioned, riding a bike, going to the gym at the end of the day, something that will just take you out of the house for you to stretch your arms, stretch your legs, jump into the gym, maybe go to swimming, something, right? Yes, and again, be ready for the culture shift. To help you embrace the shift, consider the following. You need to consider that you trust your overall work performance, and then you rethink the concept of work, and then understand all your commitments, and then be very, very patient with people. Again, be very, 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 very patient. Okay, so just to know that if you don't have electricity and a good internet connection, productivity may get very bad. So you need to be patient. Some people may have those challenges, but you need to also define what work is in your own terms. Work is not going out to a particular location to work. Work is be able to do your work well wherever you are. You can see a lot of brands are hiring freelancers now. Some people don't even need you in their office. They just want to hire you to get the job done for them. They pay you and that's it. Or they keep you on their payroll. You just keep getting the work done for them. Nobody cares about where you are. If you're in the beach, if you're in the airplane, nobody cares. Just do the work. Right? So there's a culture shift and you should embrace it. Some brands are still stuck. Interestingly, some brands are still stuck with on-site jobs, while some brands are doing hybrid, and some brands are doing fully remote. So if you're a business owner, think of how this culture shifting might help you. You should plug into it and take advantage of it instead of seeing it as a slide to what you're doing actually. All right. So managing your overall well-being would mean you getting to do a regular exercises, and then view mental health as a very serious physical health. View it as a serious physical health, because you need, your mental health is not stable, it will affect you physically. And then check in with your manager or your team regularly. Make sure that everybody is fine. Make sure everybody is doing their work well. Make sure everybody is resting well. Make sure everybody is healthy, because a healthy person is a person that's going to get the work done. If the person is not healthy, if the team member is not healthy, the work won't be done. So everybody's mental health needs to be under check. And very importantly, separate your professional and personal life. You don't need to bring two of them together. Have a line clearly drawn, right? And people should not, work should not interfere into your personal life, and your personal life should not interfere into the work. Everything should have a balance, properly managed, right? And then it's important also that you organize in-person social meetups, so that you get to have to once in a while get to catch up with yourselves. If you need to take a trip, pay flights, go somewhere, just catch up with yourselves and see how things are. Or once in a while, you can just have some meetups on video calls, and where you guys get to talk about a lot of things, how work has been, how everything is faring, and all of that, right? So it's important you have all of that under check. So this is the time I'm going to be answering all your questions. All right. Okay, please, the attendance is there. Please make sure you fill it. Okay, so make sure you fill the attendance, and then so that your certificate will get to you. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the engagement. Lorianne is very happy. I need to see her face. I need to see her face to see how she's grinning from side to side. See how busy the chat has been. Thank you so much, guys. Right, and then you've done a great job for keeping us busy. So I'm just going to look through the chats and see who said something. And if you have questions, I'd love to answer them now, because we are wrapping off already. Yes, Sile, try not to be on your phone all the time. It could be a lot of distraction. Yes, the Hustler Academy is this, Lydia, the Hustler Academy is this 1 week of free bootcamp that Google is giving to you to learn how to plan your digital marketing, to do your business growth plan, learn sales, learn marketing, learn how to get finances for your business, learn how to pitch, elevator pitch, and then they'll match you to a mentor to walk you through any processes you didn't understand. I think it's just everything a business needs to grow and to scale, right? So you just need to take advantage of it. And when it is shared, we are going to be sharing the link shortly. I think Lorianne can share that link right now. So Lorianne, please share that link, the link for the Hustle Academy, and pin it to the screen. Okay. So meanwhile, I'm just going to look through the chat again. Okay. Yeah, you can break down easily and to affect you and the work and your productivity. So look at it now. My light has gone out, right? So you can see the difference between light in front of me and a backup light. You can see that I can't see my face properly, right? So, and I don't have a backup supply at the moment, apart from this backup bulb that I have. So you can see the difference why you need lights for especially video conferencing calls. Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. Let me see if I can do some rounds. Flora, Asamoah, who else is here? Lydia, Norsi Afwa, Sile, thank you so much. You've been so phenomenal. Erado. Yeah, you don't get to be relationships. And every other person that was here, thank you so much. Thank you guys for being so participative. Thank you for keeping Lorianne busy. And thank you so much. So much. Yeah, so what are your next steps? So head over to learndigital.google.com. Because this 1 hour has never been enough. You need to learn on your own. You need to get some extra knowledge to have some more details on what we are talking about, what we've been talking about. You want to learn more about digital marketing, please jump on this learndigital.google.com. Lauren is going to share that in the chat. Please head over there and make sure that you learn, get certified on some of those courses. And a reminder for the Hustle Academy, I've already explained what it means and what they do there. Please do well to sign up and join the next cohort. Right, and then follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And thank you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody, especially those of you that were not just silent in the chat, and those of you that stayed through the call. Sincerely appreciate you, right? Thank you so much. Lorian appreciate you guys so much too. Amarachi appreciates you so much to impact her. He's so happy that you gave us this privilege to share these 8 sessions with you, right? We are so grateful that you gave us that opportunity to make this happen. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. Kinsha, I see you. Sile, Nasi, Fanny, Era. Who else is here? Flora. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So fill in the attendance so that you get your certificate when it is ready. And then I look forward to seeing you in the next sessions. Thank you for sticking around once again. We'll see you in our next session. And please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the like button. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell and do well to be joining us when next we have session. So thank you guys. See you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's 6 minutes past 7 p.m. here in Nigeria, and I'm sure it's about 6 minutes past 6 p.m. there in Accra, Ghana. I think South Africa is 1 hour ahead of us, so I'm sure it's about 8 p.m. over there. So enjoy your nights, enjoy your evening, enjoy the rest of your day.